YB stays on your neck.
It's on my neck.
No apologies, no excuses, baby. We're out here, man. Pissed about the fight, looking at it now. But, you know, I'm going to do a little YouTube drop, let you know some information about how I'm feeling, where I'm at. I'm here with the main man.
What's alright? I just want niggas out there covered.
No apologies, no excuses, baby. We're out here, man. Pissed about the fight, looking at it now. But, you know, I'm going to do a little YouTube drop, let you know some information about how I'm feeling, where I'm at. I'm here with the main man.
What's alright?
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we just heard there from Anthony Joshua. And I've got to say, this is the first piece. I'm glad to have seen this video. This right here is the first piece of any real snare and viciousness that I've felt coming out of Anthony Joshua's mouth. After the fight, oh yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to lose my belts. Come on, let's get a picture. You got a great team. Oh, Andy Ruiz, such a great man. Couldn't believe the stuff I was watching. I've got so many videos coming in the future. Like the day before. The day before the fight, AJ giving his belts to Andy. All of it was just bookie, man. The whole lot was bookie.com. Oh, it's great for the networks that I lost. Oh, I'm not sure if I want a rematch. All this business. I'm not rating it anyway. AJ comes out. This came out yesterday. Shout out to PC Jacob because I robbed it off his channel. But the bottom line is, Instagram Live. And you can. This is the first I say. Maybe it's just me, but I got the feeling this is the first piece of angry, or viciousness that I felt in Anthony Joshua. I'm pissed about losing the fight. Good. I'm glad you are, boss. Me too. And it's a shame in a way that that pissedness hasn't transformed into a real, like Frank Warren talked about yesterday. Frank Warren said Anthony Joshua needs to hold an inquest into his team about what's happened. Now, I've speculated a lot about the concussion, but as I keep saying, every time I mention the concussion, I say this. I don't know, factually, what happened. Was he concussed? I don't know. But either way, from where I'm sitting, whether he was concussed and his team need to be sacked for putting him in there, or he wasn't, and that performance was diabolical, and they need to be sacked. So when he sits there and says, I'm pissed, who are you pissed at? Because it's not, yes, of course, should Anthony Joshua take responsibility? Absolutely, 100%. However, I think AJ sometimes, he wants to be so responsible and so humble and all that he forgets that, yes, it's great to take personal responsibility. However, the truth and the facts are also relevant. Does that make sense? It's like when I was begging AJ, not begging, but when I was saying AJ, come out and tell us, what did something happen? If it did happen, just let us know. It's not an excuse. Not everything you say is an excuse. There's the truth. An excuse would be, oh, well, I've been having girl problems or whatever. Being hit in the head and having a minor brain trauma is not an excuse. That's a fact. Factually, I had some brain issues. Simple. I got put down in sparring 8 days ago. Fact. That's not making no excuses up. That's letting people know that there could have been other things. And like I say, I'm not one to make... If people have injuries, I don't have a problem with that. Arm, leg, chest, no problem. I wouldn't even make a video about it. I swear to God, if there was rumours about AJ having a bad knee or a bad elbow or a bad arm, I wouldn't have talked about it. The brain is a whole different kettle of fish. But that's here or there anyway. What I'm saying is, listen, if you're pissed, it's no good being pissed. What can you change? It's no good being pissed and saying, oh, I'm going to change things, oh, I'm taking responsibility. It's no good saying that if you've got Rob McCracken, who still has got you completely confused and thinking you're a back foot fighter and thinking you're twinkle toes. Yeah, that's no good. It's not going to work. You can be as pissed as you want. You can be as self-reflecting as you want. You have to have the right tools to do the job. It's almost like a plumber going to a job and having no tools and saying, oh, well, I'm going to... Or no, it's like a plumber going to a job with no tools and trying to do the job anyway with his bare hands. Someone's complained and said this was a crap job. And him going away and saying, oh, I'm not going to blame the tools. I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm just going to take responsibility for it. No, you have to have the damn tools to do the job. And it seems that you ain't gonna work that out yourself. But so for me, this Ruiz fight will be a case of, can AJ hit Ruiz before Ruiz hits him? Because if he hasn't addressed the core issues, then we're going to be in deep problems. And as I've said before, Rob McCracken, he hasn't come out and he hasn't made any acknowledgements. So he don't sound like he wants to change, or not from where I'm sitting anyway. He hasn't made any big statements, especially after that sort of performance. You'd have expected something from him, some sort of public statement. That's what I would have done as a man after that shocker. So I don't know where we go from here in that, if you know what I'm saying. But like I say, it's going to be a 50-50 gunslinging war versus Ruiz. Who will draw first? But even then, going forward, even if AJ does manage to pull off the rematch, going forward, it's not a good sign. That's why things have got to change now, in my opinion. Sometimes you need a driver to make the change. When you're winning, you're never going to change your team. It's very difficult to change when you're winning. But this is the perfect opportunity. Maybe God sent this for you to make the move. Maybe you ain't going to be able to beat Wilder and Fury with McCracken. One thing's for sure. I'm going to be honest. With this fight, I wasn't expecting anything, obviously, because AJ's been winning. But on this next fight, I'm going to probably live stream, I think. On this November-December rematch, I'll live stream. And I'm going to call it. Within the first minute, I'm going to know where this fight's going. If I see AJ come out with a low lead hand and backstepping, he's going to run out of gas and he's going to get chinned. Because I've realised, I was talking about whether AJ has a shot Chuck Liddell chin. But I've also realised that the thing is, when Chuck Liddell got hit, a Chuck Liddell chin is when you get hit, you get a Mia Khan. Your chin goes and you literally get hit and you get iced. I've actually realised, I think I know what it is. I don't think AJ's actually chinny. I think Anthony Joshua has diabolical conditioning. That's what I think it is. Because look at AJ, when he was getting hit, people were saying, oh, he's not even getting hit. Why is he going down? He's going down because he's truly Frank Bruno exhausted. And that explains why, when AJ gets put down, even the Klitschko fight, look how he gets put down. He doesn't actually get his lights turned out. He gets hit, and he kind of stumbles to the floor. That's how they all go. Well, in the Ruiz fight as well, you don't see him get clipped, and his lights just go out, and he Ricky Hatton's to the floor, or Pacquiao Marquez's fall to the floor. He breaks his fall when he stumbles around. That's because his legs are burning and he has no gas. That's what I think it is. So unfortunately, if you don't address that, I do not believe Rob McCracken can get him in the right shape. I do not believe Rob McCracken can manage his weight. His weight's all over the place. It's meant to be going down, by the way. They've identified it was an issue at 250. Fact. Joshua came out after the Klitschko fight and said, my weight's an issue. It's now back up there, 250, 247. Proof, McCracken can't manage his weight. Proof, McCracken can't manage his cardio. Proof, McCracken can't manage his punch output. AJ's meant to be a volume fighter. Hooks, uppercuts. Stepping with a 1-2, stiff 1-2. There was none of that. There was no inside fighting. There was no combinations on the pads or in the fight. These are all signs that something needs to change. Otherwise, he's going to go into that fight and run out of gas again. And the minute he runs out of gas, that's when he'll start falling over. I don't believe it's his chin. I've clocked on to what it is now. It's the cardio. His chin hasn't gone. His conditioning has. It's got progressively worse. Which makes sense. When you get big, you know, when you get big and famous, you start thinking, you know what, I'm the champ. I don't need to push my heart that much further. I've known it myself. The older you get and whatnot, it becomes harder to work hard. Every day that goes by, it becomes harder. You start thinking, I've never been to the heights that AJ has. He's got to be thinking at some point, you know what, when I was 15 and 16, or when I was 17, 18, 19, 20 grinding, every day that goes by, look how much success I've had. Maybe I don't need to push my heart that hard. You know how it feels. Anyone who's worked at an elite level or any level competitively, when you're doing a cardio session, a heart rate session, and your heart is beating out of your chest, and you feel sick, or if you're doing a lactate tolerance session, where you literally your arm and legs are burning, and you want to give up and you want to quit. When you got that money, when you're waking up with the baddest bitches in Miami, when you got the baddest cars outside, yeah, when you got so many rooms that you couldn't even sleep in them for every day of the week, do you know what I'm saying? You go to the gym, you start thinking to yourself, you know, oh, I don't really need to be feeling like this. I don't really need to push like I'm broke. I don't really need to work like I'm broke. And that's what I think we are possibly observing here. Why the cardio's deteriorated so much. Possibly. He always talks about his work ethic and that, but what's he going to do? You ain't going to see him come on TV and talk about, oh, by the way, the money's got to my head. Who's ever said that? Never heard it before. Even Mike Tyson, who now admits he went backwards, at the time he was talking about how he's never worked so hard in his life. But that's my 2 pennies anyway. I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think. Actually, the last thing I will say is that I want this venom to continue though, because even if he's with McCracken, the last thing he needs, it is worse for Anthony Joshua to be with Rob McCracken and be neutral. I'd rather have an Anthony Joshua who's vexed. That's what I've been waiting for. That's what Sugar Ray Leonard's been waiting for. I want to see some negative emotions. That can drive your ability to condition yourself. When you've got some real hatred in your heart, you've got to hate Andy Ruiz. Yes, he's a good man, but you've got to hate him in that ring. He's trying to take bread out of your son's mouth. Yeah? He's trying to downgrade them bitches you're fucking with. He wants to take you off the A-list. Simple as that. Andy Ruiz wants you messing with them C-ratings. That's what he wants. Andy Ruiz don't want you on the A-list no more. Yeah? Andy Ruiz wants you messing with them Deontay Wilder chicks, them dead things. Them leftover A-list rapper things. Do you know what I mean? Them ones there. That's what Andy Ruiz wants for you. And you've got to train like that. You've got to push your heart like that. Because I don't care what no one says. Is AJ like muscularly developed? Yes, but there's no reason to be. Like, I've seen people, as an example. I saw, what's that? The UK strongman. Well, he's actually been a world champion before. I forgot his name now. But basically, the world strongman, he's won it once. It's big Eddie Strongman. That's it. Eddie Strongman. I forgot his second name. Eddie Hall. That's it. Eddie Hall. He's won the world championship once. Anyway, Eddie Hall, big massive dude, 400-pound dude. I've seen him have a charity boxing match. Now, people may say, oh, well, a charity boxing match isn't MSG, but it's the principle. For Eddie Hall, it's like having an amateur fight. Having your first amateur fight will feel as bad as fighting in front of the MSG for Joshua. Does that make sense? Because Joshua's been doing this for years. So when you have your first amateur fight, if anything actually, your first amateur fight will be a lot more daunting than fighting at MSG after you've been at Wembley, etc., etc. So what I'm saying is, Eddie Hall, a 400-pound actual weightlifter. Joshua's a weightlifter, but he's not really a weightlifter. He's not 400 pounds in that sense. He got in the ring, and he was throwing 30, 40 shots around, and he didn't gas. So that proves that Joshua's not that big. Which implies to me, his conditioning is fucking shocking. That's what it shows to me. I've seen strongmen, type it in, Eddie Hall sparring, or Eddie Hall charity match, or type in Eddie Hall boxing match. Big, massive 400-pound dude. Throwing shots. Not gassing out. Dancing around a bit. That proves to me it can be done. And he hasn't even been training boxing. Let's not forget that. AJ's in the gym 10 times a week, let's not forget. Eddie Hall can rock up for a charity match and get it done, which proves to me he's not that big. There's not that much excuse to be gassing. It shows to me that he's not conditioning his cardiovascular system to a high enough level. And it's easily done, to be honest. I've seen what they do in the gyms, in the boxing gyms. There's not enough attention to detail. They'll go in there and hit the bag. Hitting the bag isn't enough. You need to be tracking your heart rate. You need to be doing sets of work where you're maintaining your heart rate at 180 and above for a prolonged period of time. You need to do 30 sets. You need to do 30 times, 1 minute, maintaining your heart rate at max 190 and above for a minute. Yeah, 30 seconds rest and again. 30 seconds rest and again. 30 seconds on, 1 minute off with your heart rate above 190. I don't believe he's doing that. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I don't believe it for 1 second. Can't be happening, because you wouldn't run out of gas in. He wasn't even out. Let's not be called a spade now. He wasn't even out putting that much volume. He wasn't jabbing. He wasn't doing squat. AJ's average in his career has been 45 punches a round. I looked it up. His average for this fight was like 28, 29, well below average, and he's still gassed. That's my 2 pennies anyway. Get the venom and go get the work and bring YB in. Fact.